my bad habits, I'm this, I'm this, I'm that. I'm somebody who is, have very little patience and this and so forth and so on. All sorts of different things. And you're telling yourself, I wish I can change my life and make my life better. And all of these things I want to change. I want to get rid of them. So the way to do it is that you identify one thing. And you identify probably the easiest thing of the lot to change. And you start with that. So one at a time. And you can focus entirely on one habit. And the research has found that implementation intentions do not work if you try to improve multiple habits at the same time. And then the next thing is something called automaticity. Research has shown that given habits become more automatic with more practice. The more you practice something, it's like if you've never been to the mosque for Maghrib Salah before. Okay? And then you start going. Before you started that practice, the idea of going to Maghrib was never something that you would have, it didn't matter to you. You didn't feel that you missed something. But the moment that you missed one day, one of our teachers back in the UK, he conducts a course on Tazkiyah, and he gives you a lot of practical exercises to do. In fact, you can Google his name on YouTube, and the courses are there. His name is Fadil Sulaiman, or Soliman as it is on YouTube. Fadil Soliman, Fadel And Sheikh Fadil, what he does is that one of the exercises that he does to help people develop the habit of reading the Quran and studying the Quran is that he gives them a very rigid schedule. Do a small amount. But what you have to do is that every day that you do something and he gives you a small little thing to do, you have to send him an email. You send him an email, so you've done it, and you send him an email, you press a button and you say send, say, Fadil, it's done. Thumbs up, it's done. So that ensures that you follow up on what you've done. So you send 5 emails, you press 5 fingers, and then you send 5 emails. And so you begin, and then it's remarkable what happens, because once you do it, and then does it over a 30-day cycle. And over the 30 days, when you do it, suddenly that, you find yourself, he said reflect on one eye. It might be reflecting 1 ayah per day. So you have to send 30 emails over 30 days. You can't send 30 emails in one day. Okay? 30 emails on 30 different days. And so and that means that you've done it. And then what he does next is that he tells you, well, after these 30 days, I want you to stop. And I don't want you to do it again. I don't want you to open the Quran. Okay? Don't open the Quran and do not study. All right? And what do you think happens when that happens? The days that goes by and he says, for 1 week, don't open the Quran. Or for 2 days, don't open the Quran. What do you think happens?
Probably got agitated.
Well, yeah, that has happened. People, not only agitating, but people we missed something. Wow. For the last 30 days, my life was transformed. And now, these 2 days, it's almost as if there is a sense of emptiness in my life. What happened in the first 30 days is a new habit formed in their life. A new habit formed. And the moment when that new habit was stopped, was just ripped away and stopped, they missed the habit so much, such that now, when it is that now they have this, there's a hunger now to get back to the way and what they were achieving. And that is the way that he teaches the way to be able to sustain this new habit formation with Quran. So that is something maybe you can try, inshallah. Google his, and you can listen to and view all of his videos online. Okay. So we're gonna stop there now, inshallah, with these. But I just want to ask you, did you find that useful? Was there things that you can probably relate to? Yeah. See, I know you guys. You all know a lot of Quran. You all know a lot of Islamic concepts. But sometimes what we need to do is to take these concepts and put them into some sort of perspective. How can we, in a very practical way, apply modern scientific research to what we do as Muslims? And a lot of the modern things which are being found for the first time, they were there, but we never recognized they were there. And people are making, becoming multi-millionaires out of simple things. Dhikr, they call dhikr mindfulness, and suddenly the whole world is transformed. Now everybody who is in any position, any professional has been asked to go to a mindfulness course to improve their productivity, isn't it? So these things are happening around us. And we have all of the jewels and all of the things, inshallah. Yeah, you want to say something?
So there were 2 points I'd like to make.
Yeah.
The first one is on the point you made of self-awareness and that personal brand. So you suggested that it's important for us to know what makes us tick, essentially. How we would react to different things. How we react to somebody criticizing us or giving us a good compliment. And in January, I think we're all exposed to the personality tests.
Yeah.
That's the invited guest that
yeah.
And the insight, I think all of us have the same experience, where the insights we got from those personality tests were so deep and true to who we were, in addition to the comments on how you react to those situations. So personality tests, just from the simple fact that they're based on research, scholars, Western scholars, persons who do experiments and research in the human psychology, who design these things so that we can get a truer understanding of ourselves. So it's a great tool, and I was very appreciative of that, having done it in January. And the second point is in relation to habit formation. And the very first point you mentioned on doing things so that you can't say no, doing it in such a small way that you don't become overburdened. And I connected to it on a personal level, but also in relation to Islamic work. I find in my own community right now where we try to implement a lot of projects, a lot of activities. We get very excited when we come up with a new idea. We try to launch into it right away. We go big. But what you find is that it's so big that it's not sustainable. And so, in no time, the interest wanes, and persons start to fall out of that loop. Persons start to stop responding to your messages. Same thing happened with our projects. And so, I think being able to design our lives in such a way that what we do is small and incremental, so that we can consistently commit to it.
Yeah.
That's what's important. And if we want to be consistent in Islamic work, we can't allow the work to become so big that it essentially defeats its own purpose.
Yeah.
So I think
that's fun. That's very important. Yeah.
Yes,
Excellent.
So I think having formation and designing it in that way is critical.
Yeah.
So Islamic work.
I think one point I wanted to make as well as much as identifying how you respond to things is important, like realizing, okay, well, I am very sensitive to self-criticism. It's not so much about stepping away or taking a step back from people who are really harsh, because you're going to meet people like that all the time. You have to exist with them in the same space, and you can't always control their presence in your life. So let's say you have your boss is just ridiculously blunt, and every single time you loud upon you, he's being better with everybody, but you just overly sensitive. You can't go and ask your boss to, okay, you cannot shout at me. He knows how to take you out. He's not going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's also about, as much as identifying how you respond to things, but also adjusting how you respond to things. Because yes, we have different personality types, but in order to survive in this space efficiently, we do need to adjust on how we react and how we respond to things.
Yeah. The way that we respond to things is based upon the thoughts that we have in our mind. Okay? Everything that we do, like, let's say for instance somebody shouts at you, or you become angry. Now, it's interesting, but when people become angry, it is not because you become angry and we say, why have you become angry? I become angry because I just can't take what this person has just said. Or this person has been so disruptive or disgusting or what have you. I can never imagine this to have happened. So I'm angry because of that. But the source of anger, that is just the action which you see, whatever happens in front of you. But the anger actually comes from your thought. Your thought that you have is then translated into some form of a physical, physiological, and a response, a human response. And you are allowing that action to be able to influence your thought pattern. And when it influences your thought pattern directly, then you're connecting that action to your thoughts, and from your thoughts, you are producing that action and that response. Which means that if you think about this, the loop which is taking place, that loop is one where it has to pass through yourself. The response to the anger is not simply somebody does something or somebody comes at you with a harsh word or with, physically wants to abuse you, and then you become angry, you withdraw physically. It goes through a mental process, which means that the way that you would tackle for instance, anger is where you look at your thought pattern, you try to control your thought pattern. If you can control your thought pattern, then you can begin to control your actions and your response. And such that when others, whatever it is that they say, you can afford, let's say you train yourself that whatever it is, whatever happens to me, I'm going to trigger a thought that says that I smile. Yeah, I smile. So somebody says something, you just smile. Just smile at them. Remain quiet and smile. Okay? Oh, well, yeah. But the thing about it is that, so you're looking at and then you begin to, or you don't respond. Sometimes people have a knee-jerk response, isn't it? They just want to